The Bible is a very important book for many people around the world. It is a collection of stories, poems, and teachings that tell the story of God and humanity. Genesis is the very first book of the Bible. It is like the foundation of a house, setting the stage for everything that comes after. Genesis means beginning or origin. This book tells us how the world began day by day in a detailed account of creation. On the first day, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. He separated the light from the darkness, calling the light day and the darkness night. On the second day, God created the sky, separating the waters above from the waters below. On the third day, God gathered the waters together, allowing dry land to appear. He called the dry land earth, and the gathered waters seas. Then he made plants and trees grow on the land. On the fourth day, God created the sun, moon, and stars to give light to the earth and to mark the days, seasons, and years. On the fifth day, God filled the waters with living creatures and the sky with birds. On the sixth day, God created animals to live on the land. Then he created humans in his own image, giving them dominion over all the earth. On the seventh day, God finished his work and rested, blessing this day and making it holy. This detailed account of creation helps us understand the origins of our world and our place within it. Genesis begins with not one, but two creation stories. These stories, while different in their details, both tell of God's power and creativity. The first story is like a grand poem. It describes God creating the world in 7 days, starting with light and ending with humanity. Each day, God speaks, and something new comes into existence. He separates light from darkness, creates the sky and the sea, and fills the earth with plants and animals. Finally, he creates humans in his own image. The second story focuses on the relationship between God, humans, and the Garden of Eden. The story of Adam and Eve is one of the most well-known in the Bible. It tells of the first humans, their life in the Garden of Eden, and their disobedience to God. God created Eve from Adam's rib, showing that men and women are meant to be partners and equals. God gave Adam and Eve only one rule. They were not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. However, a serpent tempted Eve, and she ate the forbidden fruit. She then gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. This act of disobedience is known as the fall. As a result of their sin, Adam and Eve became aware of their nakedness and felt ashamed. They also experienced pain, suffering, and death for the first time. The fall had a profound impact on humanity, introducing sin and its consequences into the world. As sin spread throughout the world, humanity became increasingly wicked. God, saddened by the evil in people's hearts, decided to send a great flood to cleanse the earth. However, he chose to spare one righteous man named Noah and his family. God commanded Noah to build a huge ark and to bring 2 of every kind of animal onto it, along with his family and enough food to survive. When the ark was finished, the rains came and flooded the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. All living creatures outside the ark perished, but Noah, his family, and the animals were safe inside. After the floodwaters receded, God made a covenant with Noah, promising never to destroy the earth with a flood again. The story of Noah's Ark teaches us about God's judgment on sin, but also his mercy and faithfulness to those who obey him. Section 5. Tracing our roots, the genealogies. Genesis includes several genealogies which are like family trees that list the descendants of key individuals. While these lists of names may seem tedious, they serve an important purpose. They show how different people and nations are connected to each other and to the first humans, Adam and Eve. The genealogies highlight the continuity of humanity and God's faithfulness in working through generations. They also emphasize the importance of family and lineage in the biblical world. Through these genealogies, we can trace the line of descendants that eventually leads to Abraham, the next major figure in Genesis. Section 6. Abraham, father of many nations. Abraham is a central figure in the Bible, revered by Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. His story marks a turning point in Genesis as God establishes a special covenant with him and his descendants. God called Abraham to leave his home and travel to a new land that God promised to give him. Although Abraham and his wife Sarah were old, God promised that they would have a son, Isaac, and that their descendants would become a great nation. God also promised to bless all the nations of the earth through Abraham's offspring. Abraham's faith was tested when God asked him to sacrifice Isaac. However, Abraham obeyed God, demonstrating his unwavering trust. At the last moment, God stopped Abraham and provided a ram to sacrifice instead. This story highlights the importance of faith and obedience to God. Section 7. Jacob, Joseph, and the journey to Egypt. The story of Genesis continues with Abraham's grandson, Jacob, who was later renamed Israel. Jacob had 12 sons who became the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel. One of Jacob's sons, Joseph, was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers. However, God blessed Joseph in Egypt, and he eventually rose to a position of power. When a severe famine struck the region, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt seeking food. Joseph forgave his brothers and reunited with his family, bringing them to live in Egypt where they would be safe and provided for. Section 8. Enduring themes: creation, sin, and covenant. Throughout Genesis, several major themes emerge. The first is creation. Genesis tells us that God is the creator of everything that exists. He spoke the world into being and made humans in his own image. The second theme is sin. From the very beginning, humans disobeyed God, introducing sin and suffering into the world. The stories of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and the flood demonstrate the destructive power of sin. However, Genesis also emphasizes God's mercy and grace. He provided a way for humanity to be reconciled to him through covenants. God made covenants with Noah, Abraham, and their descendants, promising to bless them and to be their God. Section 9. Genesis today, a timeless story. The stories of Genesis, though ancient, still resonate with us today. They offer profound insights into the human condition, our relationship with God, and the meaning of life. The themes of creation, sin, and covenant continue to shape our understanding of the world and our place in it. Genesis reminds us that we are created in God's image and are capable of both great love and terrible destruction. It also reminds us that God is faithful to his promises and offers us hope even in the midst of suffering. Genesis invites us to explore our own beliefs, values, and purpose in life.